Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. We come with heavy hearts to share sad news about extraordinary American legends who passed away in the last 24 hours on May 22, 2025. In this video, we pay heartfelt tribute to their incredible lives and legacies. Join us as we honor their contributions. If you find this meaningful, please like, support, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Let's celebrate these icons together. Stay tuned. Gerry Connolly. What does it take to leave a mark on a community, a nation, and even the world, while facing a battle that could break anyone? Gerry Connolly, the fiery Democrat from Virginia, did just that, rising from a Boston kid with big dreams to a political titan who reshaped Northern Virginia. But his story wasn't without its shadows, controversies, a violent attack, and a relentless fight against cancer defined his final years. Here's the untold story of a man who never backed down, no matter the odds. Gerry Connolly's story starts in Boston, 1950, where politics ran through his veins. His parents, a nurse and an insurance salesman, took young Gerry canvassing for John F. Kennedy's Senate campaign when he was just 8. That spark ignited a lifelong passion. By 15, he was studying to become a priest at Maryknoll College, but the Vietnam War shook his faith in the church's silence. He walked away, trading the seminary for Harvard, where he earned a master's in public administration. From there, he dove into the political world, working a decade on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, shaping U.S. foreign policy behind the scenes. But that wasn't the whole story. Connolly's real transformation came in Northern Virginia. In 1995, he joined the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, a region then seen as a sleepy D.C. suburb. He had bigger ideas. As chairman from 2003, he pushed for billions in funding to build the Metro's Silver Line, connecting Fairfax to Dulles Airport. It was a dream many called impossible, but when the line opened in 2014, Connolly proved the naysayers wrong. His vision turned Fairfax into a tech hub, drawing giants like Amazon. He wasn't just building infrastructure, he was building a legacy. And what happened next would take him to the national stage. In 2008, Connolly seized his chance when Republican Tom Davis retired from Virginia's 11th congressional district. He won the seat and never looked back, serving 9 terms with a district packed with federal workers. Gerry became their champion, fiercely defending civil servants against the Trump administration's cuts and layoffs. "Trump's on a wrecking cruise," he said in January 2025, calling out plans to gut the federal workforce. His sharp wit and South Boston accent made him a standout in Congress, whether pushing postal reform or securing Metro funding. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. By late 2024, whispers of controversy swirled. Connolly, then 74, won a heated race to lead the House Oversight Committee, beating out progressive star Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Some Democrats grumbled, saying his recent cancer diagnosis made him a risky choice. Posts on X buzzed with speculation: why pick a cancer-stricken geriatric over AOC's messaging prowess? Connolly clapped back, his voice hoarse but firm: "We need the best general on the battleground." He vowed to lead, health be damned. But the whispers didn't stop, and soon, another shock would hit closer to home. In May 2023, Connolly's Fairfax office became a crime scene. A man named Chien Có Tran Pham walked in with a baseball bat and attacked 2 of Connolly's staffers, leaving them injured. Reports later revealed Pham had committed a racial hate crime hours earlier, smashing a car windshield after questioning the driver's race. Connolly wasn't there, but the incident sent shockwaves. Why was his office targeted? Speculation ran wild. Some called it a sign of rising political violence, others wondered if his outspoken style had made him a target. The incident faded from headlines, but it left a mark. And then, an even bigger battle loomed. Just days after winning re-election in November 2024, Connolly dropped a bombshell. He'd been diagnosed with esophageal cancer. "Cancer's tough, but so am I," he declared, promising to fight with Irish fight and humor. He started chemotherapy and immunotherapy, barely missing a beat in Congress. Colleagues marveled at his grit, but the treatments were grueling. By April 2025, the cancer was back, worse than before. "The sun is setting on my time in public service," he wrote to constituents, announcing he'd step down from the Oversight Committee and not run again. It was a gut punch, but Connolly faced it with grace. And what happened next would shock everyone. On May 21, 2025, Gerry Connolly passed away at his Fairfax home, surrounded by his wife Smitty, daughter Caitlin, and loved ones. He was 75. The news broke during a House Rules Committee meeting, with members pausing for a tearful moment of silence. "Gerry was a fighter," said Senator Mark Warner, a friend of 35 years. "He met every challenge with tenacity and purpose." His family called him a fierce defender of democracy, who lived to serve the disadvantaged. From his St. Patrick's Day fete, a must-attend democratic event, to his push for NATO's Centre for Democratic Resilience, Connolly's impact was undeniable. But his death left questions unanswered. Gerry Connolly's story isn't just about a politician, it's about a man who turned challenges into change. He transformed Fairfax, stood up for federal workers, and faced cancer with unyielding spirit. Yet, his final months sparked debate. Should he have stepped aside sooner? Did the Oversight Committee fight cost him precious time? His death, the third of a House Democrat in office since March 2025, leaves a void in Virginia's 11th district, with a special election looming. As we reflect on his legacy, Dorinha Duval. What turns a glamorous TV star into a name tied to one of Brazil's most shocking scandals? Dorinha Duval was a household name, lighting up screens with her charm and talent, until one fateful night in 1980 changed everything. From her days as a dazzling showgirl to her haunting role as Cuca in Sítio do Picapau Amarelo, Dorinha's life was a rollercoaster of triumphs and tragedies. But there's more to her story than headlines. Let's dive into the untold chapters of a woman whose life still sparks debate today. Early life and rise to fame. Dorinha Duval, born Dora Teixeira in São Paulo in 1929, didn't just step into the spotlight, she danced into it. As a teenager, she joined a dance troupe led by Carlos Lisboa, performing in São Paulo's vibrant casinos. With her maracas in hand, she earned the nickname Dora Maraca, captivating audiences with her energy. Her big break came when actors Maria Irma and Juan Daniel spotted her talent, pulling her into the world of variety theater. By the 1950s, Dorinha was a starlet, shining in comedy sketches and musical performances on TV Tupi's TV de Comédia and later on TV Excelsior and TV Rio. Her charisma made her a favorite, but her journey was just beginning. And what came next would take her to new heights. Transition to Rede Globo. In 1969, Dorinha took a bold leap to Rede Globo, Brazil's biggest network, diving into the world of soap operas. She quickly became a standout, starring in blockbusters like Irmãos Coragem and Minha Doce Namorada in 1970, both directed by her then-husband, Daniel Filho. Her role as diva in Selva de Pedra, 1972, showcased her ability to portray complex characters caught in toxic relationships, mirroring struggles in her own life. But it was her part as Dulcinea Cajazeira in O Bem-Amado, 1973, one of Brazil's first color soap operas, that made her unforgettable. Playing one of the morally conflicted Cajazeira sisters, Dorinha stole hearts alongside co-stars Ida Gomes and Dirce Migliocchio. Yet, a bigger role was on the horizon, one that would etch her name in TV history. Iconic role as Cuca. In 1977, Dorinha took on a role that would define her legacy, Cuca, the mischievous alligator witch in Sítio do Picapau Amarelo. This children's show, based on Monteiro Lobato's classic tales, was a cultural phenomenon, and Dorinha's Cuca, with her wild blonde hair and cunning charm, terrified and delighted young viewers. It was a performance that blended humor and menace, making her a household name for a new generation. But behind the scenes, Dorinha's life was far from whimsical. Darker chapters were unfolding, ones she'd later reveal to the world. Personal struggles and trauma. In her 2002 autobiography, In Search of Light, Dorinha peeled back the curtain on a life marked by pain. At just 15, she endured a brutal rape, a trauma that led to an abortion, and, in her desperation, a brief period of prostitution. These revelations shocked fans, showing a side of Dorinha far removed from her glamorous image. She wrote candidly about the shame and resilience that shaped her, offering a raw look at a woman fighting to survive in a harsh world. These struggles set the stage for the emotional turmoil that would follow in her personal life. And what happened next would push her to the brink. Marriage to Daniel Filho and aftermath. Dorinha's marriage to director Daniel Filho, sealed in Las Vegas in 1962, was a high-profile union that produced their daughter, Carla Daniel, a talented actress in her own right. Together, they collaborated on projects like Times Square at TV Excelsior, blending their professional and personal lives. But by 1972, the marriage unraveled, leaving Dorinha devastated. In her book, she revealed a suicide attempt following the split, overwhelmed by heartbreak and her struggles with alcohol. The public saw a star, but privately, Dorinha was battling demons that would soon lead to an even greater tragedy. The murder of Paulo Sergio. On October 5, 1980, Dorinha's life took a shattering turn. After a night out, she and her third husband, Paulo Sergio Garcia de Alcantara, a 35-year-old advertising producer, got into a heated argument at their home in Rio's Jardim Botanico. According to Dorinha, Paulo Sergio, 16 years her junior, verbally and physically abused her, mocking her age and appearance. In a moment of rage, she grabbed his revolver and fired 3 shots, killing him. Dorinha claimed self-defense, alleging years of humiliation and abuse. But the victim's family argued the act was premeditated, sparking rumors that still linger. What really happened that night? The answer divided the public. Trials and public reaction. Dorinha's trial became a media circus. High-profile friends like Chico Anísio and Paulo Goulart vouched for her peaceful nature, painting her as a victim of abuse. In her first trial, she was sentenced to just 1.5 years, served in liberty due to her clean record. But a retrial in 1989, after prosecutors appealed, led to a 6-year sentence in semi-open conditions. Dorinha spent 9 months in a Niterói prison, sleeping there but free during the day. Public sentiment was split. Some saw her as a woman pushed too far, others as a calculated killer. Posts on X and YouTube channels like Meu Brasil de Histórias still revisit the case, with speculation about her motives swirling even today. But Dorinha's story didn't end with prison. Life after prison. After her release, Dorinha turned away from the spotlight, reinventing herself as a visual artist. Her work, steeped in esoteric and mystical themes, reflected her search for meaning after years of turmoil. Remarkably, she remained under contract with Rede Globo, a testament to her enduring ties to the network. Her final TV appearance was a cameo in Bellissima, 2006, a nod to her vedette days. Living quietly in Rio, Dorinha focused on her art until her death on May 21, 2025, at 96, as confirmed by her daughter, Carla Daniel. Her passing sparked tributes across X, celebrating her as a trailblazer while revisiting her controversial past. Dorinha Duval's life was a tapestry of brilliance and heartbreak, from her dazzling performances as Cuca and the Cajazera sisters to the tragedy that derailed her career. Her story challenges us to look beyond the headlines, to see the woman who survived unimaginable pain and rebuilt herself through art. George Coulam. Who was the man they called King George, and what secrets did he leave behind? George Coulam built a kingdom out of a Texas strip mine, turning dreams into reality with the Texas Renaissance Festival. But his reign was far from a fairy tale, marked by controversy, betrayal, and a mysterious end that's got everyone talking. Let's dive into the wild story of a man who lived like royalty, but faced a dramatic downfall. Back in 1974, George Coulam had a vision. Alongside his brother David, he bought 15 acres of barren land in Todd Mission, Texas, and transformed it into the Texas Renaissance Festival, now the largest of its kind in the US. Picture this. Over 500,000 visitors every fall, stepping into a medieval fantasy of jousts, feasts, and costumed revelry. Coulam wasn't just a businessman, he was a showman, crafting a world where people could escape reality. His charisma turned a dusty plot into a cultural juggernaut, employing thousands and drawing fans from across the globe. But behind the curtain, whispers of his iron grip started to spread. What kind of king was he really? Coulam didn't stop at building a festival. He shaped an entire town. In 1982, he helped incorporate Todd Mission, a tiny Texas community, and became its first mayor. For over 40 years, he ruled both the festival and the town, blending his Renaissance empire with local power. The festival became Todd Mission's lifeblood, fueling jobs and pride. Yet, some locals and employees started to see cracks in the crown. Coulam's leadership, they said, could be as controlling as it was visionary. And that's where the story takes a turn. Fast forward to 2024, when HBO's Ren Fair docuseries put Coulam in the spotlight. The show peeled back the layers of his eccentric life, showing a man searching for love on dating apps while grappling with retirement. At 87, Coulam was ready to pass the torch, but the succession crisis revealed tensions. Employees and potential successors clashed under his strict rule, and the series painted him as a self-made king whose quirks were as captivating as they were divisive. Fans ate it up, but it left many wondering, was King George a genius or a tyrant? The answer was about to get messier. In April 2023, Coulam made a bombshell deal. He agreed to sell the Texas Renaissance Festival and nearby land for a staggering $60 million to a group of buyers, including RW Lands and Texas Stargate. They put down $400,000 in escrow, ready to close. But when the day came, Coulam went silent. No documents, no deal. The buyers sued, and in May 2025, a Grimes County judge dropped the hammer. Coulam was ordered to sell, plus pay $22 million in damages, and $1 million in legal fees. The court battle exposed a side of Coulam few saw coming, a man who, some say, broke his word. But that wasn't the only shock. Just days before the ruling, Coulam faced another blow. In the May 2025 election, Todd Mission voters ousted him as mayor, ending his 4-decade reign. Stephen Menzing, a military veteran, took the seat, marking the first time Coulam lost at the ballot box. For a man who'd ruled unchallenged, the defeat stung. Rumors swirled about his state of mind as the walls closed in. Was King George losing his grip on the empire he'd built? Then came the allegations. In 2018 and 2020, former employees filed lawsuits claiming Coulam harassed them, tasking them with managing his online dating profiles on sites like Sugar Daddy. They said he made crude comments, creating a toxic workplace. Both cases settled out of court, but the whispers lingered. Former employee Nikki Corantona called the environment under Coulam unbearable, and others echoed her. Reports suggest his strict style drove away longtime staff, leaving a trail of resentment. Yet, to his fans, he was still the visionary who gave them a magical escape. The truth, it seems, was somewhere in the middle. On May 21, 2025, the story took its darkest turn. A housekeeper found George Coulam dead in his Stargate Manor home in Todd Mission. The Texas Rangers, Grimes County Sheriff, and local police swarmed the scene, launching an investigation. Early reports hinted at suicide, but no cause has been confirmed, and speculation is rife. Coming just weeks after his legal and electoral losses, the timing has sparked buzz online. Was it the pressure of losing his kingdom? Or something else entirely? The mystery hangs heavy. George Coulam's legacy is a paradox. He built a Renaissance dream that enchanted millions, turning Todd Mission into a cultural hub. But his reign was shadowed by lawsuits, a failed deal, and a sudden end that's left everyone questioning. As the Texas Renaissance Festival prepares for its 2025 season under new ownership, one thing's clear: King George lived a life as bold and tangled as the festival he created. What do you think drove him to his final moments? His story might be over, but the questions are just beginning.